Good morning, good morning. My name is Jess Beard, and I am a business and self-esteem coach and an archetypal teacher. And I am usually on Friday nights, but I'm taking over for the absolutely divine Leonie. Now, Leonie, she is the queen of doTERRA oils and essential oils. She's incredibly knowledgeable and powerful and amazing. So she is going to be back at her normal time next week. I am literally just taking over for her, just as a surprise session today. So Leonie is like amazing with the doTERRA. So if you know anybody who is needing guidance or to sign up, they want to make some extra money by working with doTERRA oils, then she's hugely supportive. And anybody that's wanting to make a little bit of a side hustle or turn it into a business, they need a really strong leader. So I've been in different multi-level marketing things in the past. And if you don't have a really strong leader who's going to help and support you and get the best for you, then you don't do any well. So if you know anyone, she is the queen. So I'm just taking over for her. I'm really excited I've never done a morning session. I'm always on a Friday night. So I do archetypal readings for all the newbies who don't normally see me. And I have my window open, so hopefully the dogs are not going to be too annoying for you all. But if somebody would like a reading, just let me know. I've got the beautiful Maria, and then I've got Michelle from New Zealand. How are you doing in New Zealand over there? Did they just go back into lockdown? I can't remember. Alrighty, beautiful Michelle. Let's pop you on. Sorry about the dog. Everything was silent, so I left the window open and didn't put the aircon on, and now it's too late. So, okay. Hi, Carrie. How are you? Carrie's seen my readings before. Has anyone else seen my archetypal readings? They're a little bit different from other cards. Atlanta, Georgia. That's an interesting one. With being overseas, being of a nighttime, I usually don't get to see many of my American friends. Okay, so beautiful Michelle, you actually have some internal work around the divine feminine or motherhood. So you have the bridging card. So on an archetypal level, and I might actually just stop and because it's a new time slot, I'll just briefly explain about archetypes. Archetypes is a language that can be no matter what country you're in. Say you're in Spain and you ask what are the characteristics of a mother, and then you go to someone who's in South Africa and then someone in the Amazon jungle, they're all going to describe the mother in a similar way. An actual, it's patterning and similar patterning. Like if you described the characteristics of a pirate and then you went to Cambodia and then you went to Alaska and you're like, what's a pirate? They would all describe it as the same thing, a thief, all those kinds of characteristics. So it's not only like characteristics, it can be objects like boxes and bridges. Like you go and you ask someone in a different country, well, what could this mean? And they'll all say the similar thing. So it's a different type of language, and it's my greatest passion in this lifetime because like with my coaching, I tie it in with your self-esteem and your soul esteem. So when you're stuck in those sabotaging patterns, because the saboteur is an archetype as well. So Michelle, this card, the bridge, it comes up when people are able to help people get from A to B. So teachers, healers, psychics, all those kinds of people that can get coaches. You get someone from A to B. They come to you for advice. And you can also be on a journey yourself. But when this card comes through, it usually means that you're a very good listener. People come and ask you advice. Sometimes people would come and even tell you all their problems, and you kind of just know what to say to them. It's a really beautiful card, but it can really go through a lot of different modalities. Counselors, if you can help someone journey from A to B and have an epiphany, or if you have a psychic ability where spirit's telling you here's the information, so they come to you for help. The mother come up second. So the mother, like, literally means, can be your mother. You might be needing to heal relationships with your mother. It can be the mother within yourself. If you're a mother, how, or you're struggling to be a mother, or any of those kinds of things really brought up. But it also means the divine feminine. So you have the mountain as the third card. So the reason I'm saying this is internal work is because the mountain symbolizes going within. So a lot of people feel like they're on this journey climbing up to the summit of something. They're wanting to obtain something. And sometimes they can get almost competitive and like driven to find the answer to something and forget that the answer is actually little you in the cave inside the mountain. The gems are within. So it's telling me that there needs to be some really internal work about your relationship with the divine feminine. Are you giving your power away anywhere? Do you love yourself? Do you feel like a strong female woman, or do you feel like you've lost your mojo? Do you have that easy? Hey Amanda, how are you? Do you have that relationship where you need to really address what it is to be a woman, and also looking at motherhood especially? Or maybe you could, even with that bridge card, you could be teaching mothers to go within. Does that make sense? So this is a really internal, I get a very internal feeling, like a real journey within, which makes sense with that mountain card. And it's like striving to obtain something. So it has a very good vibe to it. I get no sense of like, oh, foreboding, or this is going to be really hard. But it's like an exploration, and embrace it, and really look at how you empower, look at how you see motherhood, look at how your relationship with your past mother, anything and everything to do with the mother and the divine feminine. It's all just going to really, it's really going to come up. So that's really potent. Now, remember, guys, my page will jump. So if you want a reading from me, just don't hesitate to ask a second time, because it just jumps for me, and I have no real choice to like scroll forever up there. Sorry about that. So don't hesitate to ask a second time. So I'm just going to smudge those cards, and I'm glad that makes sense. I couldn't get a sense if it was about your mother, Michelle, or if it was you as a mother, or just the divine feminine. It actually kind of feels like it's a deep exploration of kind of everything. And that's the hard part about archetypes sometimes, is because there's just so many layers to it. But you have that bridge card. So whatever deep journeying you're doing, you're going to be really good at explaining it to people. The bridge archetype are really powerful teachers. They're guides. They can articulate well. They can be quite emotive, and really help people take that journey so that they can see and explain everything that they've been through. So it's really lovely. The beautiful Kathy. Let's see what we have got coming through for you. You think it'll be your mother? There's a lot of that going on at the moment, all divine feminine stuff. I've been, for better words, basically sex and the beautiful vagina and sexuality and relationships has just been coming up left, right, and center for me. So there's a real purging in the collective at the moment, with a lot of women really looking at their relationship to their own physical body, their relationships to their mothers, their relationship to themselves. So, you know, like, we've been talking about the divine feminine rising for a decade, and it's really pushing now. We're in the birth canal, and so some interesting stuff's been coming up. She's passed away, and I still don't get a sense of like a deep grief, Michelle. So I think it's more than just her passing away. Yes, having a look at you know, your relationship with her, her passing, but it's more internalized than that. So there's going to be more. I'm pretty good at feeling grief in my body. You should see when I go to a funeral. It's always quite interesting. And Michelle, I don't have that same kind of feeling in my body. So it's going to be more than just that. That'll be an aspect, but there'll be a bigger exploration as well. And also that mountain card's very internal. So I'm actually really curious about your reading. I've put my description up in the writing, and I've got my page and my group listed there. If you have epiphanies or you have any questions in the next week or so, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm actually really curious about your reading. I think there's just really multiple layers, and usually when I do a reading, it's like boom, 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 and yours is like boom, 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 boom. There's like so many different timelines to it. So it's very curious. Oh, beautiful Sarah, thank you. And now to the gorgeous Kathy. I just talked about the divine feminine being a really big push at the moment, and lo and behold, here comes the womb card. This has been coming up a lot in the last probably 10 days. So the womb card is our creative force and our creative center as a female. So this is, let me just turn that off, sorry guys. So this card comes up when we need to really look at our empowered self as a woman, our creative force. There's a lot of people who can manifest with working with their womb and not having any shame about it. Like I, you know, have been talking about recently a lot about sex and sexuality, and the vagina's been coming up with clients and friends and family members. And one of my friends was giggling like a schoolgirl, and I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to be giggling about the vagina at your age, you know. And I had to deeply laugh because I actually truly felt like she needed to do a lot of work. She was disconnected from it as a power center and as a really creative force. So you can manifest from it. You know, you can be there's meditation techniques where you can imagine the thing that you're wanting to grow, build, bring into your life, and you imagine it in the womb space. And I've had people tell me some amazing transformative and magnetizing events that when they start working with the power center. You have an interesting card for the second one, and it's the shapeshifter. So Kathy, the shapeshifter comes through when we are adapting to other people's stuff too much. Like this card can, yes, if you're going into a job interview and you need to adapt into Wonder Woman in order to get the job, perfect. But if you are constantly doing other things for other people when you don't want to, like I have to be the best mother, I have to be the best employee, I have to be the best friend, I have to do this. Friend rings you up, hey, I need this help, and you're like, I can do that, but you don't really want to. And over time, you give so much of yourself away that you actually don't know who you are anymore. And for that to come up with that womb card, it's making me feel like you've really probably stepped into either the martyr or the empath, and you are in the shadow aspects of them. And you are giving, and not receiving. You're not honoring yourself as a woman. And sometimes with that womb card and the shapeshifter beside it, maybe self-worth comes up. Do you really love yourself? Do you feel like you're deeply worthy of abundance, of your dream life, of whatever you're desiring? So that can come up as well. So the third card is an initiation card, and it's actually really lovely. So this card is when we really open ourselves up to initiation and change. It's really working with our intuition, learning to follow our intuition, and taking divine action when you have an intuitive thought. I actually I actually find that this card's quite powerful. There's a term that I use called holographic alignment, and that's when if we're wanting to pursue something as our purpose, our dream, our, spirit says, hey, go and do this. And then if you take that action, synchronicities happen. Life, like, it gets explosive because you're actually following the path that you're meant to be. And I really get that word holographic alignment for you. So I feel like there's something that you're wanting to create, something really beautiful, and you need to build your self-confidence, and you need to trust yourself and stop giving your precious time and energy to other people, because you're not going to create the things that you want to in this lifetime if you're giving to everybody else. And it's really important. I just got a real emotional hit right then. I could almost want to cry. So, like, yes. And so it's your time. It's your time. And it's time to do this. And whatever you're wanting to create, what dreams you have, stop doing everything for everyone else. Stop being perfect or wanting to be perfect for everyone else. Come back to yourself as a powerful woman, and accept that initiation into your life where you really truly start honoring yourself. It's a really beautiful reading. Amanda, you can have as many cats as you like. No judgment. I think cats are amazing. Sorry about the dogs, guys. I left that window open and turned the aircon off because I had such a beautiful breeze. I'm just going to smudge these cards. Okay. Did that make sense, Kathy? Okay, Chelsea, what have we got for you? Oh, I'm so glad that that's landed for you, Kathy. It's just, I gotta, hang on. Sorry, there's ash on my thing when I smudged. It's really important that you do this work. I got highly emotional, Kathy, so yes, it's like really strong divine guidance. You must do this. you can join my group. The link is in the description. I have an amazing bunch of women who are all really trying to step up into their soul esteem and take action and follow their dreams. So you're more than welcome to join the group. They're an amazing bunch of ladies. Okay, Chelsea. Well, this is very interesting, Chelsea, because it's actually incredibly similar to Kathy's right then, in a slightly different way. The castle is about when you're wanting to build something, and usually money is tied in, like materialistic things. So it can often be a business or something you're literally wanting to build. It's very much about creating really solid foundations, and there's also really strong boundaries so that whatever you're wanting to create can survive. Now, it can also symbolize relationships and different things, but there's usually money attached to it in some form. So it's usually a business. Or whatever the dream is. I'm really getting business or something like a promotion or something financial. The second card is the mask. Now, this card has two meanings, just like it's got two sides to it. On the one side, it's warning you about people that are fake and wearing masks. If your intuition's going, this person's just not quite right, you need to really honor that, because they're not revealing things to you and it's not quite right. The other aspect of it, this side here, is to the removing of your own masks. So if you've got aspects of yourself which you're not showing to people, your true self, it's time to remove that mask. So if you're wanting to do tarot readings, if you're wanting to have like some kind of a spiritual business and you're worried about what your family and friends think, you have to remove that mask. And you have to ask yourself, like, when I'm doing my coaching and I'm talking to them, what are their greatest fears? And they'll go, I fear being seen, and I'm afraid of getting on Facebook Lives. And I help everybody with that, but I come back to it and I said, your greatest fear should be that you do nothing, and in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, you still have the exact same burning desire inside of yourself and you've done nothing. You've procrastinated, your perfectionist has come out, you've sabotaged, you've prostituted yourself, like the whole shebang. So get really clear on that aspect. When it comes to removing the mask, I had to go through it. I started off with my business. I just called it Inner Alchemist. I had no picture up, nothing. And I was telling, a few people what I was wanting to do, but no pictures, no names, nothing. And then I realized, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to help people, my business was very much word of mouth before COVID. And then COVID has forced me to come online and show up, face my fears of getting on live, doing the whole shebang. I don't know why I'm saying shebang all the time. I haven't said that in 20 years. So, if I hadn't faced those fears, I couldn't be here and help people and be of service and teach people and change lives. And I had to come out of the spiritual closet, and I had to remove my masks, and you do as well. There's something inside of you, some aspect, some truth, and it really needs to come out. You worry a lot due to anxiety. I truly believe, Chelsea, that some of that anxiety and also depression, and I'm not talking about all aspects, but I do believe that there's a certain level of that is actually your soul's way of saying, come on, it's time to do this. And like I've known people who that have actual physical issues in their body and health issues. And then when they start actually doing what they've always wanted to do, they'll shift and change and sometimes even disappear. So our bodies can be a barometer for our soul. And it's actually really important that you listen to your mind, your body, and soul and honor all three of them. And I get this deep sense that there's something inside of you that you're really wanting to do. And I think it'd be such a huge relief to you to just no longer hold it. It almost feels like a burden. And the relief that you'll get. I almost get that feeling like I could never imagine the pressure for somebody who was gay, like 20 years ago to come out of the closet. Could you imagine how they would feel? And how much courage that would take. And even today, there's still courage in stuff. It's a lot more open and accepted, but there's still issues. And there's still, different things with certain families. So it's kind of like that. When I say coming out of the spiritual closet, it's that same absolute courageous moment of, I don't know what my family's going to say or think. I could lose my family, but I have to do this because this is who I am. I actually think they're incredibly courageous. And that's the level of courage that you need to activate in order to remove masks at time. So your final card is Threshold, which is a really beautiful energy. It's like you're at the top of a cliff and you're ready to dive off, and you don't know where you're going to go, what's going to be in the ocean below, but it's this ultimate leap of faith. So this is really telling me that you're going to take that leap of faith and you're going to do this. It's time. I'm actually getting real I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. Like all my hair stood up right then. So it's so time, and it's really exciting. Now I'm getting chills down my back. So it's really, really exciting for you. So, take that mask off, build your castle, and have fun. As you take that leap of faith, yes, you're scared because you don't know what's going to be in the water below you, but there's that triumph. You're almost flying as you're doing it. So really exciting. You've wrote, yes, this resonates with me as there's a few things I want to do. I've been told something's good is going to happen. No, I think, Chelsea, you need to build with that castle. So ask yourself, what do I really want to do? What are my passions? And then build that good thing. It's like no one should ever give you a little wand and go, oh, you're going to do this, because then that's disempowering. And I almost would not trust any clairvoyant that did try and tell you what to do, because that's not the true path of empowerment and free choice in this planet and this time. We're all born with free will. So I would say go to your passions, the things that you've wanted to be doing. What is the one that stands out the most? And start building it. Build that castle. Take off your mask, reveal yourself to everybody, and jump. Do it. Yeah, it's more than that, Chelsea. That's beautiful, and you will definitely be there. But the move is also like just one aspect. I'm talking soul level, that's physical level. So the castle's going to be a physical house, a new one. But what are you wanting to do? That would be amazing. Sarah, you always get power cards for me. The last time you had the dead end. Done the dead end to no end, and anything your cards. Oh, the dead end has a thick sense of humor, Sarah. Don't worry, it comes up in my cards sometimes, and I'm just like, really? Fine. And I know that I know exactly what patterns I've got going on. I've had some massive ones and some massive initiation cards um, since October. But I made a sacred vow, so it's my own fault. That's powerful, Sarah. Chelsea, that's beautiful. I'm so glad it resonated with you, Blossom. It was a gorgeous reading, and you're more than welcome to join my group, darling. I think there's a lot going on for you as well, and it's just a really beautiful bunch of women. And yeah, and if you ever need any help, just reach out. Sarah, you've been doing a lot of work on yourself. So the tear is death and rebirth. So that's that time where you know that something's left, which is all that dead ends that you've been snipping off. And sometimes it can be a really emotional process because you're like, well, what's my life going to be like without all this crap? You know, like, who am I now? And you're in the rebirthing phase. And sometimes this can be almost like a little bit of a void space. You didn't get the empty room, which tells me that you're not in like total limbo, which is really good. It's more like an emotional time as you step into the new. You got the ring, which is the breaking of cycles. And oh, hang on, you've just said, spoke my truth to my family's disgust. You also said, I do know I would be made to take a harder look at themselves, that they did. So much darkness, so much evil, so free. Oh, perfect. I love hearing people's transformations after their readings. So this is absolutely amazing. So this is the breaking of cycles, which is everything that you've just done. But it's also the replacing those cycles with healthy habits so that you never go back and do any of the old cycles again. So you have your death and your rebirth. So you're birthing into the new Sarah, and now you're breaking those cycles and you're going to create new healthy ones, new healthy habits. Deeply honor yourself. Learn every aspect of how amazing you are. And like you know how on Facebook you create those little avatar things. Now, I couldn't create one that looked like me at all. And it had a Wonder Woman golden suit. And I'm like, I'm fucking Wonder Woman. I'm getting that suit. And so I look ridiculous in this avatar. But, you know, that I'm owning the fact that I'm powerful and that I can help people. And it's really, you know, I've stepped up into whole new levels with my coaching of like, I can help people transform out of their patterns and into their purpose. And boom, boom, boom. And out of my mouth comes this new level of confidence. And that's what you need to do. I tell people I'm a courage activator, and they're like, what is that? And I literally say, you just need to be in my presence. And I believe in you so wholeheartedly that you believe in yourself. It's like I have codes in my frequency or something, and it activates within them. And I'm owning the Starborn. So this is the card, then this is why I'm talking about this. Starborn is owning your gifts, your abilities, your talents. So this is the most perfect reading for you. Rebirth, new cycles, owning your unique self. So this archetype is like when you were born, at that microsecond that you came out of the womb, all the stars, all the planets, everything was aligned at that moment that gave you some unique abilities, unique personality, made you who you are. So this really comes through when people are really learning to own their power and own who they are. So Sarah, I couldn't imagine a better card for you. It's clearly you've broken these cycles and now you're going to be stepping into new abilities. However, do you when you've never had a healthy, I keep going, getting motivational speaker, however, I don't know where to start. I think that you need clarity on exactly what you're wanting to build, Sarah. I'm launching a group coaching program on April 5th. If you would like to book in and have a chat with me, we can unpack a little bit and see exactly some of the stuff that you can do, because I'm a business coach as well as an archetypal teacher. So I can really help people when they're just starting, don't know they don't know how to speak on lives. They don't know how to package up their offers. They don't know how to create content. Like, where do I start? And I'm a content queen, and I spun out one of the ladies. I said, tell me what your client is fearing right now. And she sent me 2 paragraphs, and she's like, I don't know what to come up with to write about. And she sent me there weren't paragraphs, there were 2 sentences about her client's biggest fears at the moment. And I came up with 5 topics she could do Facebook Lives out of just 2 sentences. So that's one of my superpowers. And, it's time, Sarah. And I think it'll be more than motivational speaking. That'll be an aspect of it, maybe even coaching yourself. There's a lot of different stuff I'd need to know more. Okay. I have a link, Sarah, in my description for a coaching chat. Some really, I think that you're at that next level and that's what you need. Okay. Amanda, is your move coming soon? Oh, Blossom, I think you've been asking for, I think you've been asking about your move for a while, Blossom. Let's see what comes through with the cards. Okay. Oh, Michelle, thank you so much. I could talk about archetypes all day, and it's my greatest of passions. I feel amazing while I do it. I can almost float and levitate because it is my purpose, and I think that's why I'm excited about the group coaching as well, because no matter what each person brings to the group, it's going to resonate on some level. Because I also help people like consciously decouple, or they get stuck in their triggers in their relationships. And even if they're coming into the group while someone's learning about their business, it's going to resonate in their own life. So it's just going to be a yummy, divine hotspot, like hot pot of like a cauldron of archetypal energy and teachings, and I'm super excited about it. So fed up with it and stuck. All right, Amanda, what is coming up for Amanda? Well, it's a positive card to start off with, Amanda. Well, let's have a look. That's a second positive card. With an unusual third card. So the gem is different facets wanting to come through, and it's very much about the self. It has nothing to do about moving. So the heart, also again, incredible about self-love, nothing about moving. So do you have it could be relationship issues, or it could be the relationship of self-love with yourself. Sorry, that smoke's coming past from the white sage, so it looks a little bit mystical, doesn't it? So the gem literally is facets of ourselves starting to shine and be polished up. So it can be a new aspect coming forth as well. So you know how I was talking about owning my powers, and I put on my Wonder Woman suit on my avatar and just verbalizing more confidently the things that I'm doing. That is a new facet that's had to be buffed up and come forth. If I'm going to step up and coach people like I know that I can, I have to verbalize it so other people know that I can. And I know that sounds ridiculous and obvious, but it's a different thing when you're embodying it and you're working and shifting through and standing up. Like all of my stuff was word of mouth. And then all of a sudden COVID's hit, and now I have to, shout my gifts and talents from the rooftops or into all these beautiful divine people's homes. So I've had to go through the whole tumultuous range of change. But that's what I mean by a facet. It's a new aspect of self coming forth, and you're having to really buff and shine it up. So it could be more confidence. It could be something in the lines of empowerment and self-love. Remember, right beside that is that heart card. Now, this heart card is quite often like the most beautiful card of all. It's one of my favorites in there. It's deep, deep self-love and knowing your heart, and also being able to be very loving and in the vibration of unconditional love when you're going out, even if you go into Woolies or Coles, and your whole frequency shifts. So even if there's people screaming around you, you're just like in this little bubble of unconditional love towards yourself and other people. It's quite beautiful. So no relation, refer inner peace. So that would make sense with that one. But there's this strange third card. I'm just wondering whether or not, so the third card, this is this is quite an not so nice card. So what it means is like sometimes our inner critic is terrible, but it can also be like we're under psychic attack or under in a really toxic place and other people's projections. So we did ask about the move, and we've got the aspects of ourself and deep self-love. Is there other people who don't want you to move? Is there anybody, your landlord? Is there any family members? Is there any parts of yourself that doesn't want to move? Sorry about those dogs, people. I should never have trusted that I was going to have the window open and everything would be lovely. Just wondering, maybe I should shut the window. No, they're going to stop. So the reflection, how we mirror. It's interesting. I just feel like maybe you should do some ceremony, and I wouldn't normally advise this, but it's coming through anyway. So yes, there's having your vision, creating a vision board, you're really wanting intention, you're really wanting to do it. But I actually feel like you need to form a protective barrier around that. Where, it's like there's an outside influence wanting you to stop from moving. Family member, wondering, you know, it can also be psychic attack, projections, and influence. Is there something on the land wanting you to stay? Is there something in the house, like an entity? I know that's a bit spooky sounding, but this is the energy of that card. It can very much mean that. And I know that she's been wanting to move for a very long time. So I think you should do some, it would be a big step business move, and I think some are jealous. I reckon it would be really beneficial, Amanda, if you did some very simple, basic work on yourself morning and night. Before I go to bed, if I feel like I've had a particularly emotive day, I will, I'll just do some aura combing, and I do a specific energy cleansing. It sounds so simple to just go like this, but as I'm combing my aura, I literally ask and intend for the divine to remove any negative projections, hooks, sacred contracts that are no longer serving my highest purpose, and any implants, negative entities, anything. So sometimes I've had to do some interesting work with some interesting people, and once I did a reading for somebody who I believe was schizophrenic, but there's no way I knew that until it turned up. And after I did the reading, I actually couldn't talk properly. I tried to say something, and my mind was like fucked. And so I had to deeply smudge the shit out of myself and do some really immediate cleansing work, and then I was able to verbalize properly. So that was a really interesting experience for me, and it was a learning tool, because I now know the things to look out for if that ever happens again, and to be in a place of power. And I think it came into my life so that I understood more about the energetics of it, and to be more wary, because, you know, I just needed to be. So my little girl saw a shadow man. It does feel kind of, I don't normally say this to people in readings, so I don't like to invoke fear, but I don't think that you are the type of person that's going to go into drama karma and go into ultimate fear, because, you know, you have the power to cleanse and do this, you know. So smudge the house, set really clear intentions, work with your energy field, because remember, strong gifts, talents, abilities, deep self-love, and it's that real sense of empowerment. So we have free will in this lifetime. You know, fear is something that we can all surpass. Fear is a learning tool. The reason it comes into our lives is so we can actually overcome it and become even more empowered. So don't fear fear, embrace it. Yeah, I got that sense that you're not afraid of them, Amanda. So for that card to come through, I don't get it as a feeling of like I don't feel like you've got the inner critic and the really toxic self-thoughts. So I think that that's what you need to do. You're not going to, you know, if you're trying to create and envision moving, having this big life-changing event, and then you're getting that vision and that intention and that energy of that is being attacked by outside forces, then just do a little bit of energy work and clearing the house regularly as well. And so yeah, I think that might help. And hopefully the next time I see you on here, you'll be like, guess what, Jess, I'm moving. Okay, now I'm just going to smudge the cards, my loves. I feel like it's come up for a reason, Amanda, so you're most welcome, and I really hope that works, because I know that you've been wanting to move for a very long time. Okay. The beautiful Vicky. see what she's got. Lots of, I didn't see that one before, lots of strange going on, lights on and off and things falling off the walls. Most definitely. I think you got your answer. So just experiment with it, Amanda. You might need to do daily stuff, but I feel like you must also do your energy and then the house as well, and be really vigilant, because if you're trying to put energy into something and it's getting dispersed elsewhere, or someone's like draining it off you, then you have to start again. If you're vigilant with your energy field, then I think it'll help really shift. And then also smudging the house will help. And have you ever gridded your house with crystals and stuff like that? If you need a little bit of help, just message me on my business page, and I'll give you some pointers on how to grid your house as well. Okay, the beautiful Vicky, what have we got for you? I've really enjoyed doing a morning session. I usually am quite late on the Friday night, and apart from the dogs being naughty, it's been really lovely. I think I just started speaking with a slightly different accent, so I'm going to try and come back to being Australian. It's a bit random, I know. Okay, so this is a really interesting card, Vicky. You have the Temple. So this card is really when we need to work on honoring our mind, body, and spirit. So you've got prayer hands, you've got that prayer radiating out, that feeling of like peace and amazement. And then see the really thick pyramid outline. That's your boundaries. So it's also a card where, yes, you're honoring your body, your mind and your spirit, but you're setting really clear boundaries. So if you've been giving attention away, if you've been giving a lot of energy away to other people, you now need to bring it back and give it to yourself. If you've got dreams, desires, passions, things that you want to do in this lifetime, you've got your temple, you've got a building like that castle card, you want to build a vision, you can't do it if you're giving your energy away to other people. Eat good food, do yoga, read, meditate, whatever your intuition's telling you, you must honor the mind, the body, and the soul. You can't just eat good food and then not look after the mind and the soul. And you can't just meditate and read and then eat shit. You need to do all three, and that's actually a really huge thing for myself as well at the moment, is even though I'm a big girl, I have lymph issues, and so I'm a vegetarian, and I haven't been eating enough vegetables, and I've been eating a bit crap and different things. Like, I've been a vegetarian for 8 years. I know better. So I've had to really be more vigilant and careful when I'm going out. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy that. I'm going to go get my veggies. And so honouring all three and that boundary work. The hunter card come through. Now the horse, it's usually when we are literally hunting down and focusing on a specific issue. See how it's in the pursuit of a focal point. It's light, it's all energy. So that's usually if we want to obtain something. We really desperately want something specific in our life, and we're trying to hunt it down. It can be a business, it can be our purpose, it can be money, it can be a relationship, but it's usually just like one thing. And it's like, oh, I need to really work on this. And then you've got the mentor card. So this usually means a teacher comes into your life to help you on this. It usually means a book that you're going to read, or it can be you're the mentor Are you wanting to be a teacher, a coach, or a counselor? Or do you need a teacher, a coach, or a counselor? So it's really it's a really lovely reading. I get a really good vibe from it. Work on your purpose. Yeah, it kind of felt more spiritual, but there also does feel like there's a little bit of money involved, Vicky. And you know what? There's the hugest program. I call it a new age program, and it's a ridiculous one. And I used to have it in 2012. I used to say, oh, if I had a psychic ability or I could heal people, I would do it for free. And I would, I would do all these different stuff. And it's just bullshit. Do you know, with my coaching, I've gave thousands of dollars of coaching advice for free to people, and they do nothing for it. But if someone pays me $2,000 to do one of my courses with me, and lo and behold, they've committed to themselves as money has value, and they have the transformation. And here's the thing. We believe, whether we want to or not, that money is value. So it takes an incredibly courageous person to get something for free and have the actual discipline to do something with that free thing. It just doesn't work. And I'm being honest, I was given all kinds of free stuff over the last 8 years. And if I got it given for free, I didn't really do it. Half-heartedly did it. I got a coach myself last year to help me with the educational gaps that I had. I paid over $5,000 for my coach. Within 14 days, I'm like, this is the best amount of money that I've ever spent on myself, because it's providing me with the tools that I had missing. I educated myself. I bought a house and a car and everything else like that. And I'm like, no, I actually am investing in myself, not a physical thing. And that's what I think that when I say there's a level of money about this, I just want to tie in that, and this is for a single person listening right now. When you find your purpose and you're working on it, you also need to work with the frequency of money. Money is frequency. You deserve to be paid for what you give. It's okay to have money. It's okay to accept abundance from all areas and all directions. And I was talking earlier about being holographically aligned. This is, once you step into that frequency and you're doing your purpose, opportunities come from all over. You have to be really receptive to them. So it's about frequency. So Vicky, I really do think that you need to work on your purpose, and you need to really from the get-go say, I will be compensated with divine abundance, and working with the two together, because it's much easier from the beginning if you're going to start with that frequency of being, divine compensation for the work and the effort and your skills and your talents, then, it's going to help if you start with that frequency. And, one of the biggest things that with my healing journey for myself, is I realized, I sat down and I listed it all. I have spent well over $30,000 on different modalities I've learned, traveling overseas. I did fire priestess training in Mexico. I did portal and energy work in Singapore. I've done countless modalities, Reiki, crystal healing, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on Archetypes with Caroline Mice and Rob Rohotto. And that's not even in the books. If you add the books in, it's probably closer to 50,000. And I'm just like, this is my legacy, all my hard work for a decade, and everything, and I deserve compensation for that. I've invested in myself. Money's not a bad thing. So it's a real changing of frequency and embodying who you are and wanting that transformation. So make the commitment to invest in myself, stop giving my energy away, and step into my purpose, and I'll be divinely compensated. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I think that's amazingly put. And I have a really excited feeling for you. It's actually really gorgeous. So my beauties, I've run out of time. I'll carry. I absolutely love both of them. Caroline Meist is my greatest teacher in this lifetime, and Robert O'Hotto I adore as well. He's so refreshing, and I've loved how he looks at things. And once I've worked with their work, you know, being archetypes, you adapt them into your own different way. So I take Caroline Meiss's survival archetypes and I tie them into your self-esteem system. And then I also talk about your soul esteem, which is archetypes that you can call in to help you with that child, the victim, saboteur, and the prostitute. And it's just life-changing for me, and I'm just such a joy with it. And archetypes is something that you can just wholeheartedly help people with because it's a language. So it's, oh, yeah, my favorite, absolute favorite. And I've been training with them. I think Robert would only be in the last 2 years, but Caroline, I've been doing her workshops, I think for about 4 or 5 years now, and she's completely and utterly changed my life. And it's my greatest joy, absolute greatest joy. I got to meet her when she was in Brisbane, just before COVID hit and everyone got locked down, and I was just so excited. But when COVID finishes, I'll be going to, that's what I'm going to reward myself with, is I'm going to go and actually do one of her courses overseas, live. Okay. I'm going to just draw one card for all of us as what we need to look at over the next week. Oh, wow. It's the dead end. So over the next week, I want you all to really, really look at what is in your life that you know is a block, that you know is something that you need to let go of, that is causing you to not be able to move forward. And I want you to smash through that block. You literally have to face it. So this is very appropriate. There's so many people that are going through this at the moment. So I'm not in the least bit surprised that this has come up. So really, really look at everything that is really preventing you. Is it your saboteur patternings? Is it a bad relationship? Is it you need to move, like the beautiful Amanda? What is it that you need to overcome because it's in your face and you know what it is? That's the energy of this card. So this means for it to come up, it means it's a really amazing, potent time where you can just push through so much and change. So that's my past trauma. Oh, wow. So, Carrie, having an understanding of the archetypes, that I find that people who can really understand archetypes can really push through their trauma. It's that matter of when you're getting triggered in the trauma in that moment, being really aware of which of the 4 survival archetypes, and I tie them in with the self-esteem. So understanding in that trigger moment, and you can take it back, level by level. And I'm super excited for you. I think you'll do amazing. Tennille, the saboteur is my greatest advice is trick it. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but when it's a survival mechanism, the saboteur archetype. So when you start to freak out and feel anxious and like, I can't do this, or like your body tightens up, your throat tightens up, your gut clenches, that activates the saboteur and it wants to come in and save you. It's not a bad thing. It's trying to help you out. It doesn't know and it doesn't truly understand that you're wanting to shift into something different. But there's a part of you that's petrified of shifting and changing into something different. And that's why it acts. So there's little tips and different ways that you can sneakily trick your saboteur so you don't go into fight and flight. And you don't go into and all these different ways. So really look at your patternings and you trick it is my greatest advice. But then underneath the saboteur archetype is the procrastinator, there's the perfectionist, your martyr can go in underneath there, the shapeshifter. So it's really powerful and potent to actually know exactly what pattern you've got playing out. And some people think they're sabotaging themselves, but it's actually their child archetype is gone crazy and is really offended and hurt. And then you end up victimizing yourself. So sometimes it's a domino effect. So it's really potent to actually know exactly what you're doing to yourself. Yes, Carrie. If you join my group, next week I'm doing the 3 Ps. So I'm going to be focusing on the prostitute, the procrastinator, and the perfectionist, and how they actually can get intertwined, but how they are individually, and some tips to get you out of it as well. So there's some practical tips to get you out of the procrastinator, etc. I don't think faking it till you make it is necessarily quite correct, Vicky. The alchemist is the best way. So you keep experimenting until you find the correct formula. If you try and fake it and you don't truly believe in it, then it doesn't always work. You can try it, but it doesn't always work for some personality types, or the trauma's too big, or the fear is too big. Okay. That's perfect. I'm going to send you all so much love. I better get off here because I've gone 8 minutes over and I don't know if there's someone next. So, face it till you make it. Jason, that's perfect. The other way of wording that is the sovereign archetype. If you stay in your sovereign, you literally are like, okay, show me what I need to do next, and I'm going to push through it, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it. So I really like that, Jason. Face it till you make it. I might have to borrow that if you don't mind, because that's utterly perfect. And to Neil, I've tried faking it. I've tried affirmations. I've tried just being really positive. Like, they can work for smaller stuff, but if the sabotaging cycle and pattern is really strong, then you need to actually get in there and work out different techniques and activate different archetypes, which will help you in that specific pattern. So, yeah. Thanks, Jason. I like that. Face it till you make it. Alrighty. Everyone have a fantastic Wednesday, and the beautiful Leonie will be back next Wednesday, and I'm going to tell her that she had the loveliest bunch of women and Jason, who I really wish that I got to speak to more men on this program. So Jason, you have to spread the word, manpower, and so yeah, I love you all, and have a fantastic week. Bye bye.